Hello, everyone. What is going on? My name is Timpedia, and welcome back to the TNT Podcast, episode 76.
Soldier 76.
Yeah, because you know what? Live on air, I'm going to change the episode number
We're all
for last
bitches
week.
now.
I forgot to
Oh.
change the episode number. This is going to be a semi-unique episode of the podcast. Unlike normally, where we have all the news and everything, we are doing just one topic and one topic only. Game of Drones, where the drones just swarm over you and blow up metal chairs all day long.
See, this is the reason why I should start drinking.
Um,
here.
And because we're having such a momentous discussion, it only felt fair to bring in the fourth of Du Bois for this discussion. So welcome special guest Luigi back to the podcast.
Oh, hey, I'm the
Yeah,
fourth
Luigi.
boy.
Luigi,
Thank you.
Alright, now calm down. You're not that special. Okay.
Damn.
I know. I'm reminded constantly.
Yes.
But yeah, we have a very loose discussion, kind of brackets that I just quickly scribbled down. But we're honestly just gonna give our thoughts on Game of Thrones as a whole, season 8, the finale, and everything. And we're just gonna start. We're gonna start with overall impressions of season 8. Now, if you've been on the internet for more than 5 seconds, you've seen that people are pretty unhappy with season 8.
What are you talking about? Everyone loves season 8. The internet is just praising it all over.
So I saw a meme today saying
remake it again.
I saw a meme today saying if you're the kind of person who liked season 8, you're probably the same kind of person who said "Who's that?" 75 times during season 8.
I can understand that. I will say everyone said that a bunch of times at the very end in that council when they're like, "Who the fuck are all these characters we haven't
Yeah,
seen in a million years?"
Who the
I
hell
could
is
not
this?
recognize the actor for what's his name, Robin Aaron.
Yeah, Robin Aaron.
Oh,
Kid
yeah.
grew up.
God, the murder!
So handsome.
So this kind of applies to the whole thing, but I honestly think Game of Thrones is such a sad example of literally everyone else in this show did such an amazing job except for D&D.
Yeah, yo,
It
This
only is
season-
the writing.
the talent was on point. The
Look-
soundtrack, the filmography,
Listeners
minus
who-
the bottles.
Listeners
Oh
who
my
don't know, for anyone's out of the record, when we say D&D, we're referring to the nickname for the two showrunners, head writers of the show,
It's like Dave and
who's Dan or something.
I don't know.
Dumb and Dumber.
Point is, instead of saying the writers of whatever, we're going to call them D&D, so don't confuse it with our usual.
Also,
D&D.
spoilers. Don't listen to this podcast at all if you don't want to be spoiled on Game of Thrones. I should have said
True.
something. But yeah, I mean, like, so much of
Oh,
the
jeez.
season. Oh, Tyler's, and we're already losing people. This
Red.
season was like, I mean, so you can only see, like, I mentioned this before we started, but like, there's been interviews coming out for the past few weeks of the cast being like there's an interview with Emilia Clarke where it's like, what was your
Best
reaction?
season ever.
What was the reaction when you read the script for the final season? She just does like, and it's like, even in spite of, I'm hearing the echo, Freeman. I heard it.
Continue.
Like, in spite of that, you can tell that everyone on camera is totally on point as far as the acting. Like, it's still not hard. Remember in episode 4 when Tyrion frees Jaime and they basically say
Oh.
goodbye? That scene was
cried.
crazy. That was so well done. Everyone did an amazing job. Like,
Everyone did a good job. Just the writing, man. It
Because
fucking
Peter
sucked.
Dinklage is an amazing person.
well, I
and
think
like even with the finale, like he caught my heart a second time. His
Yep.
tears made me cry.
and I mean, hell, like Nikolaj, I think is his name.
Coster
Nikolaj.
Waldau.
I don't think the J is pronounced, but yeah.
I'm making a
Nikolai.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine
I don't know, some
joke.
kind of weird European shit. I don't fucking know.
It is actually, again, Brooklyn
It is.
Nine-Nine. One of the main characters adopts a kid, and he constantly corrects him. Nikolaj. He does anyway. Everybody is just killing it this season in terms of the acting, but man, their characters are doing the dumb. Oh God,
I mean the dookie.
Like, you know what's weird? It feels so long ago already, the Battle of Winterfell. Like, does anyone else feel like it's already been a really long time since we saw that happen?
Yeah, it does, and
it's weird.
It doesn't. Not for me.
Okay.
I don't know. Like a couple weeks ago.
It feels like we've been dealing. You know what it honestly probably is? The emotional shock of the whole of episode 5. It's like, man, that it just feels like that's been sitting there for a long time.
Hey guys, do you know that you spent a third of your lives following this show?
I don't think that's true
Bro,
for me.
I spent
only because
more
I started
time
in
of my
like season
life
2 or 3.
Following Naruto, you can't guilt shame me into hating this
Guilt
show.
shame.
Because
No, but Naruto I heard was okay though.
Oh, it had a shit ending.
I played World of Warcraft for 15 years.
Yeah, and you still do, and you're gonna do that right after this podcast.
And it makes me hate myself.
Oh my God.
If I can't have the weeb shit, I'm gonna inject Naruto into Game of Thrones. But I saw a meme today, where it was Game of Thrones fans. I can't believe they changed the final villain 3 times, and the bottom reaction was that like that monkey giving the side eye with Naruto fans. Because for anyone who doesn't know, they changed the final villain 3 times in 50 episodes of Naruto.
All right,
the last 50 episodes of Naruto.
So I have a genuine question that Leslie seemed to not understand what I was asking when I asked her this the other day. The Song of Ice and Fire, the name actually doesn't really make sense anymore. Because it should be a song of how ice won everything.
Yeah, right.
Like,
isn't the story of how Fire, being the Targaryen, defeated the Night King and then proceeded to become distinct, or
and
like
then go
the
out.
fire
So
was extinguished.
Is the Song of Fire and Ice how the world used to be full of fire and ice, and now it's full of nothing?
I mean, like it's more. I always saw as the duality of the destruction of both ice and fire.
Or maybe it was just a cool ass fucking title.
That's fair. It is cool.
It's more they just need to shoehorn in the book's gonna have probably a slightly more panned out reason of why this title of the series works.
So,
and it was more they're like, we got to tie this into the ending, because otherwise
we're just splicing topics over, because I mean, people have been saying like, oh, is George R.R.R. like doing this? Is he using this as like a beta test for his books, or is he like just not even bothering to write them anymore? And it's like, this is probably what his ending was. Like, you look back, and those people who are like, oh, look at, the clues have been laid for years. And it's like, yeah, you can choose to interpret it that way, I guess. But honestly, if you think of, I don't know. It depends on how...
I definitely... Dude, like, he said that they're probably going to finish the way I was planning to. It's more of, you look at season 1, and it's very closely related to the books. Even the way they speak to each other is a lot more, I'll say, like, poetic and elegant. And then at the end, let's go guns blazing. It's all about the action now. It's so much different.
But what the fuck, though? Like, everything had a goddamn payoff except this.
Literally the
whole season.
Because Martin didn't write this season.
I'm aware of that, but fuck, dude. Like, this was atrocious. Like, if we're still talking about structure, we literally, like, that's why I felt like it felt like, oh, just a couple weeks ago, it didn't feel that long ago that the Battle at Winterfell was a thing.
I just feel like it's been such an emotional roller coaster since then.
Emotional as in, like, this is fucking piss poor, and I
I don't mean the show emotional roller coaster. I mean, like, the emotional roller coaster of, like, okay, there's 2 weeks left. Okay, this finale's next week. How's that gonna... Oh my god, that was the finale.
Oh, that was it.
I think it's more that during normal Game of Thrones episodes, you hear people talking about it on Monday, and that's it. But with this season, I got to hear people complain about it every single day of the week nonstop. And that's why it felt much longer.
That's true, too.
Know, I'm not a writer by trade, okay? But, man, like, holy shit. Like you can tell when something's awkwardly paced. Like, because especially when it's like, all right, the fucking Night King's dead. All right, let's move on to the next thing. Oh, we're not going to talk about that. Let's move on to the next thing. It's like, oh, all right, shit, all right, I guess.
Move along.
Move
That
along.
was-
All right.
That was one of the big things I want to point out of the season. If you separate episodes 1 and 2 from 3 through 6, I think 1 and 2 had proper Game of Thrones pacing. We had proper build up to a big event where a lot of it is just like everyone's got to get ready for this. Like you as the viewer got the chance to sit down and be like, all right, we're building up to something big. And that was what led to the first disappointing thing, which was that big thing didn't pay off well. The
Well,
end of the
even-
Night King sucked.
I'm sorry. Even with episode 1, because it was a lot slower than most episodes, I feel like they did that because it's the reintroduction to these characters after 2 years
Yeah,
of not seeing them.
that definitely plays a part of like, hey, we know that we took a long break. Don't forget how the cast works. Let's reintroduce you to your old friends who have been gone a long time while we struggled. Like, that's the worst
I
part.
feel like that's pretty much what it was.
Like the
Like,
fact
2,
that
I
these
thought
6
was
episodes are the result
fantastic.
of 2. Oh yeah, 1 and 2 are the closest we've ever come to old Game of Thrones in a while. Like they are high points for the series in some way. Like episode 2 had so
it was
much
great.
great dialogue, and then it's like, oh, the Battle of Winterfell. Oh, the Night King. Oh, now we're going to King's. Oh my God, that
Oh,
dragon
now
just
we're-
died. Oh no. Oh, it's on
Oh.
fire. Oh. No.
Oh,
Let's see,
she's
like,
dead,
probably-
and this is over.
Probably the only thing I felt it felt out of place for episode 2 was the knighting of Brienne. I felt like if
She's
there
a
was more
woman?
dialogue, well, no, I feel like if there was more dialogue from her throughout the rest of the series, talking about how she can't be a knight,
Well,
I
I
felt like that would be more
What
in
do you
place.
mean?
I
That
feel
was-
like
she
there
was telling us
was.
she wanted to be a knight.
Yeah.
she.
That's why she's doing what she's doing.
That's
yeah.
that's not exactly why she's doing it.
No,
Didn't-
but
Didn't she talk about this when she was like traveling with Jamie the first
when
time?
she
had
was
to bring
Yeah.
back
friendly,
King's
she's
Landing?
wanted to be a knight.
It needs to be said more often
What?
throughout the series.
I
A
don't know if I
reminder.
agree
If it's
with
mentioned,
that.
So-
if it's mentioned one, okay. First off, I'll say it this way: Daenerys was consistently, multiple times each season, saying she's going to burn down cities to the ground, and a lot of people are shocked that she burned all of King's Landing. The consistency was there. This
Hold
was
on.
mentioned,
Hold on.
but it's not something that kept in line throughout the series.
But I will say Dany is a much more central character. They can't give Brienne the kind of time and build up. Like that's not Brienne wanting to be a knight is not the same kind of earth-shattering level of decision of Dany wanting to take power and burn people alive.
Also,
I feel like they just don't
argue
have
that
time.
Danny, I mean, we're jumping, I guess, to characters for a little
Fuck
bit.
it, just whatever.
But,
it's a flowing
like,
This
no,
is
but
conversation.
that-
why
but
we
it
needed
plays-
this structure.
No, but it plays into the structure though, because because of her fucking with her motivations like that screwed up everything. Because not only did they not yeah, I totally get it. She's the Mad Queen, blah blah blah, but literally what it made it look like was that A, bells triggered her, and B, she burned down the fucking town all because she didn't get dick from her fucking nephew.
Well,
Tell
put
me
it
that
that
wasn't
way.
the reason.
Back
No,
to
because literally she got pissed off because he's and I'm not trying to make whoops. I cut out.
no,
You guys hear me?
No, you're fine.
we didn't hear you cut
fine.
out
at
We didn't
all.
lose you at all.
Oh, whoa. What it made it look like was I mean, I get there's the whole deeper of, oh, John was the last person that she ever had. I get that, but I feel there was really no super provocation to that. It felt really out of place.
I
I could
mean-
understand if oh hey, she goes up to the fucking wall and then oh the bells ring. They put so much emphasis on the goddamn bells that it sounded like a trigger instead of some shit's okay, it's fine. And then let's say they kept Rygel alive, right?
Rygel? You mean Rhaegal?
His name is
Rhaegal.
Wriggle.
Wrigley's. If they kept Wrigley's alive,
Wrigley's
right? If they kept
dragon.
Wrigley's alive. That would be dope because then it's okay, nah, fuck the bells. We're gonna shoot him because that's what Cersei would do. She wouldn't give nah, we ain't
Well,
surrendering.
That was one.
Blat.
That was one of those internet things of instead of Rhaegal dying to nothing in the ocean, why not have had Euron be
Yeah,
fuck the
kill him
surrender, kill him,
there.
and then she goes nuts.
it's literally a series of scenes this entire season with zero payoff,
Mm-hmm.
and the characters go in a fucking circle.
So
So
hold on.
to go back to those bells though, I do not believe that's what triggered her at all. It was because the camera consistently pans back to the keep itself. She's
Yeah.
ignoring the bell.
That I can agree with, but I really just wanted to say real quick. I'm not trying to divert us, but with
He's
Brienne,
totally diverting us.
I know.
Yeah.
With Brienne, I think part of the reason, regardless of if you're right, Luigi, and they could have talked about it more, the reason she was knighted is just for that payoff in the finale to see her as captain of the guard. Because up until that point, she wanted to be a knight and everything. She had no allegiance to the Seven Kingdoms and would have stayed with Sansa following her character unless Jaime made her a knight of the Seven Kingdoms now.
I think that scene made it kind of worth it.
Yeah,
I like
that
I
part
was
of the
okay
Oh, I liked
with
it
her
too.
Story arc.
I'm just saying, like, clear. I wouldn't be surprised if they were planning on having her be a knight, and then they're like, but how can we make sure she, like, ends up as captain of the guard with Bran instead of going with Sansa, who she swore her allegiance to? Oh, Jaime can make her a knight of the Seven Kingdoms. And then she goes off, and then Pod pushes Bran around in a chair.
Yeah, Sir Pod wheeling fucking Professor X around.
Hey, don't hate on my
Oh,
boy
the
Pod.
rod.
Okay? He's
Nah, Pod's
Yeah.
my dude.
Dude,
I rooted
for
for
anyone who
Pod
wasn't
since
paying
day
attention,
one.
Everybody rooted for Pod.
Pod negotiated a threesome in the background of episode 4.
Pod
Dude.
of the big dick
Hang
and
on.
singing voice, like,
For
literally.
real.
He
For
was the
real,
winner of
though.
this season.
I saw at least one comment on Reddit that was like, damn, we didn't get to see Pod's massive dick before the end of the show.
Pod
Another
laying down
comment was,
Pod.
no wonder Pod's wheeling him around. He can do it with no hands.
hell yeah.
Oh my god.
But Jesus, but it was honestly a lot. It was all over the place. In terms of its pacing, it was by far some of the worst things that I've ever seen. Honestly.
can almost
Have you
see-
ever seen the last season of Dexter?
Everybody
see,
keeps
that's-
saying
Everyone's
yeah.
that.
comparing it to
yes.
this.
That's one of those examples.
'Cause it's
I've
fucking
seen it.
awful.
But you know what? I've seen it, and but even up until almost the last part, right, where it's like, okay, this is kind of weird, but like, you know, with all the weird shit, like Dexter could pull this through at the last minute, and they didn't. It decided to get too weird, and it didn't make any sense. And there's a difference between like the very end of a show, which Dexter was, and then it's like a whole season where the writers and directors, they had the opportunity and the funding to really make this something special. And like I said, I'm not a writer. I don't do anything, but like you could tell that there are some corners that were cut.
Oh yeah, you could
there were
almost see like a
things
few
left
more
open.
episodes that were probably left on
And
the
there were-
floor.
Yeah, and there were things that were left
Why
open.
can't he pet dog? Because we ran out of our CGI budget. Like
Which
that
is
was an answer
horseshit.
that they gave.
That's a bad answer. That is an unacceptable answer. I don't believe that.
I mean, it's really easy to cut that dragons flying through the frozen valley scene if they really need to free up more dragon budget.
There's so many things they could have cut. There's so many things they could have done.
See, but again, that's the CGI budget thing was the answer they gave later. Because clearly, like you can't magically refilm a scene a year after it's been filmed.
Which is utter
Yeah.
horseshit. And you know what though? They are leaving all these. I know this for a fucking fact because they're leaving all these things open, just so them like just have material for their spin-offs.
See, but I thought the plan was none of the spin-offs would take these characters into account. I
No,
thought they
because
were-
None of them are sequels. They're all prequel spin-offs.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what though. What was something that we were literally amping up for since episode 1, scene 1 of the entire show, the White Walkers. What just gets fucking dropped, White Walkers? That literally was just for nothing. I go back to that point, and that's what bothers me the most. You amp up this giant calamity that's gonna destroy the entire fucking world, and all of a sudden, all right, yeah, on to the next thing. That's this. We gotta do it. No, all right, fuck it.
So here's a
No
question.
mention.
how do we do the White Walkers better?
How do we do it
Like
better?
the
Brand is
answer.
Night King.
Shut up. The
Nah, that's
answer.
lame.
The
That's
answer
lame.
can't just be like John ran over and killed him.
See, what I thought, so here's my thing, right? I thought it would have been interesting, the timing, right? The timing of how all these things kind of come into play. Because no one has seen White Walkers in thousands of years, right? Basically around the time like when Targaryens like really sat the Iron Throne. But now, it's been 15 years, winter is coming, and who has become the most dominant? Not Targaryens. There are no dragons flying around. I was like, oh, maybe there's a connection to this whole thing.
What do you
But
mean?
now that they're coming back,
What do you mean? Like the
Like,
fact
think
that there's no dragons means the White
the
Walkers
fact
can
that
go
there's
nuts?
no Targaryens or there's no Targaryens or
Well,
dragons.
but apparently that doesn't matter because the Night King's like, nah, fire,
well,
no,
you
that
no,
doesn't.
nigga, you just
So-
asked me how would I make this better, and
No.
I'm telling you how I'd make
So-
it better.
So if
But
anyone,
what I don't
if anyone's
understand
curious,
how that
there's
just,
a really good YouTube channel called Alt Shift X who goes into a lot of the lore of the books. And one thing he brings up is that magic kind of ebbs and flows in the Game of Thrones universe. Ever since the fall of Valyria, magic has been kind of disappearing, and it's implied that the fall of Valyria happened around the same time that whatever big event caused them to build the wall happened. And since then, magic has kind of faded from the world. But since
The
then,
Dance of Dragons.
White Walkers have begun appearing. Dragons have now returned to the world. It's implied that magic is kind of ramping up again, which can be a way to explain the resurgence of the White Walkers.
but then we immediately kill off
Yeah.
all the magic.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like you could attribute that to like why it would be a song of ice and fire.
That's
You
fair.
can bring that back to the idea.
But
Like because that's a weird coincidence that all of a sudden that the resurgence of all these magic things, like what's it all tied to?
well, I mean, yeah, you
Right.
see, like in season 1, we start with the White Walkers and end with the birth of new dragons. Like magic is coming back into the world, but I'm asking Tyler, like you said that's how you fix the White Walkers. Well, I don't understand how.
Well, it's not. I'm just saying how I would like. It's an idea. I think it's something because it gives more value to what's going around.
But I don't understand
Is it-
what are you actually saying you fix? Like, what are you changing? I thought I mean, I'm probably just misunderstanding, but it sounded like you just said the White Walkers and dragons are coming back because magic is coming back.
That's what Freeman said. What? No,
I don't-
I said.
No, that's what I said as a way of explaining why this is all
Yeah,
happening.
explaining it.
I'm saying
saying
it's not necessarily like related to Targaryens having the throne because the Targaryens only haven't had the throne for like 20 years.
5 seconds.
No, I'm saying it would be cool because at the time of them losing the throne, it was spring.
Oh, you're saying the fall of the Targaryens is tied to the Night King.
I said that would be cool. That's not what the deal is.
No, I know that. I'm not.
saying that'd be cool.
That's
yeah.
how you're saying it could be tied together.
Yeah.
But how does that? But my question was more like, how do we? Like the Night King is defeated by Arya jumping out of nowhere and stabbing him in the leg when he's about to kill Bran, and has the easy win in his hand, and he just loses it.
Okay, I'm really glad you worded it that way because I was about to say this, but do you know how you started your sentence just now? Arya came out of nowhere.
No, I know, but that's what
the
I'm.
part that needed to be fixed.
That was what I'm sorry. That's what I'm saying. How do we fix that? Not like the whole thing, but
You
what is a
follow her
way?
around. Like, how did she get past all of the other
Wind.
the White Walkers?
The wind in his hair. That was Arya running so fast. She's like the Flash.
If they
Probably
had a
more of
scene-
an explanation how the Night King control. Like, can he see what they see? Would be a nice explanation.
Wait, what?
If,
Like,
whether or not the Night King can see what the Whites see, or at least what the White Walkers see, because
Oh, like
she
a shared
is,
vision kind of thing?
Yeah,
I feel like the answer would be no. I know.
Yeah,
I'm
let me-
not
let me
saying
make
this is
this-
I mean, she
definitive,
does. Like, you notice one of the White Walkers turning because
That's
he
what I'm saying, yeah.
notices something pass him,
The wind in
and
his
then
hair.
Night King, just grabs Arya as she leaps.
I think the idea is just that
But how'd
he's
you
so
get there?
personally powerful and heard her jump. Like, doesn't she has her mouth open? She's making some noise.
So here's the reason they did it the way they did it. When they wrote this, they did not write it so it coherently makes sense if you read it while written down. They wrote it in a way that's shocking for the viewer the first time they watch it.
Oh yeah.
The first time you watch it, if you knew that Arya was approaching, the scene where she jumps and stabs him wouldn't mean anything. But the fact that you didn't even know she was there makes it shocking in the moment, and that was why they wrote it the way they wrote it.
Yeah, because you forget that she just wandered off from from her other party, and then bam, she just shows up.
Yeah, a lot of the way you guys are phrasing this is why didn't they X? And the answer to all of your questions is they tried to just make it look as nice as they could on film and didn't care about the implications.
Well, sure, but that's why
Because
my
it's
question
the
was, how can we do it so that it makes more sense? Like, how do you rewrite? Because, like, why does the Night King have to kill Bran?
Your last suggestion is why didn't they just X?
Well, that was me responding to another
I know,
comment.
and I'm telling you, like, you need to frame it correctly. Like
But I did. I framed my question 5 minutes ago, and then we spiraled off into talking about Arya. Like, how do we rewrite it so that the Night King doesn't lose
Fuck
like a
it. Here's the
loser?
real answer. We fucking can't.
yeah, the Night King's not supposed to exist. Like, it's just supposed to be a bunch of whites.
Wait, what?
Like the Night King as a character does not have any more motivation than what we saw on the show. He has one goal: kill everyone, including the memory of humans. That's his goal. There's nothing beyond that about
Oh,
him.
that's also a stupid thing.
And the problem is everyone's like, oh, is he going to speak? No, because he doesn't have anything to say.
Also, can I just
mean,
ask?
I don't mind that motivation.
But what-
It's what?
I have to ask though, what does he think he's getting out of killing Bran? Like we've never established
He's
Bran
the
doesn't
giver, dude.
Bran
So this
doesn't
is- so this is
Bran
actually
doesn't
a
go
good one.
around telling everyone the history of humanity for any reason. The
No.
three-eyed
So
raven
he's
lived
just-
north of the wall doing nothing.
He's just the giver.
Well, no. So you can attribute this one to actual real human history. Anytime a major city's invaded, do you know what the first thing that's burnt is?
Books.
The library.
Books.
They don't want any history of the old way to belong because it incites uprising.
I totally understand that, but nothing directly came only from Bran. I guess is the idea
Bran
just that
knows everything.
I mean, wheelchairs didn't exist before Bran remembered how to make them. So you got that.
he just got tired of being dragged around on a sled.
Pretty much.
I want to, even though we never see him roll the chair himself.
Yeah, right. I told you, Professor Xavier.
All right, let's get off the topic of the actual, because this whole Night King is not going to lead anywhere. Let's just jump
Just
to
like the show.
I know.
Let's just jump to King's Landing.
Let's
Yeah.
well,
let's just jump,
let's
yeah,
jump to the finale. Let's talk about the finale because it's where everything comes to a head and it's what actually brings it all together.
So
Shit.
I'm happy that they managed to wrap it up. I'm gonna open with that one. Going into the season, I didn't think there was a way they could try to at least tie all the loose ends together. And I worded it this way to my coworker. I'm like, they tied it all up. Now you can tie a ribbon around a turd and it's still a turd, but you managed to tie it all up.
Or you can
And
make
that's-
that ribbon out of the turd and then wrap
That's how I
a
feel
beautiful
about
thing in a
this.
turd.
They ended it to the point where it's like, well, I don't really have that many more questions. I'm not saying, man, I wish there was one more season of this.
No, but I think that's almost a problem because I feel like with Game of Thrones there almost should have been a little bit of more open-endedness. Like correct me if I'm wrong, but we've established that we have a king, a queen, another king, and an adventurer, Christopher Columbus.
Yes. That's how it ended.
But like that's so happy ending.
Yeah. It's so overly wholesome.
It's a little too much for Game of Thrones. Like Ned Stark died right away and his kids win the whole thing.
Yeah, what happened to, if you think this is going to be a happy ending, you weren't paying attention shit.
Like
I mean, there's
hell-
no way Jon survives the books. There's absolutely no way.
No, he's gonna.
I think he's like the only one who does. But
Oh,
only,
like if you think about it, if John is being kept prisoner by the Unsullied,
why?
I figure, well, because I'm assuming, because we don't see this, that he's captured, and Daenerys is gone. There's a puddle of blood there. and the dragon's freaking out. So I guess somebody went inside and just took him prisoner. And he admitted, because he's fucking John.
Oh no, he
to
definitely did.
Daenerys.
That was the big
I
joke. That he
completely
had
agree
to
with
have,
you.
He had to have told the Unsullied that it was him.
You
'cause
realize-
Fucking, we
there's
got
no
him
evidence that he
killed,
even stabbed her.
turning himself in.
Yeah. You realize
Well,
he
who
could have
else
just
was
like
there, though?
kicked. Okay, unrelated question, because this is insane how much the show fucks with this. Is it Ash or is it Snow? Because they seem to not be able to
that.
decide. Jesus,
Yeah.
like, look, it's
I
Ash
thought the
because
whole
she
time
burned
it was
everything,
Ash, yeah,
but then it
I
acts
guess
like Snow, because like Drogon starts breathing fire and the ash just seems to melt. And I feel like there was one shot in the finale where I'm like, this looks like the ash is turning into snow. Like it looks like it melted around a spot. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
I was hoping it would just be snow because winter was supposed to be a thing,
Yeah.
and they just kind of forgot that.
They did just kind of forget that. They kind of just forgot a lot of things.
It's the new
Oh
meme.
man,
They just kind of forgot.
They
I
just
almost
kinda
forgot about this
yeah.
connection. Tyler, did you ever read Codex Alera like I asked you to? That Jim
No,
Butcher series?
you know I ain't gonna read that.
It's fine. I
I-
already played through the first couple chapters of it in your campaign.
No, that was 50 years in the past, dude. That was a prequel. I don't even want to say anything because it's a spoiler for the books. Then shit. But yeah, there's just so much like the dragon.
Shit in the fuck.
I forgot I remember what I was gonna say. How does Grey Worm not come into that room and see John be like, "Yep, I killed her. She's dead. The dragon flew away with her," and then Grey Worm just walks up to him and slits his throat?
Yeah, no,
Because
that's exactly what Grey
That's literally what he was doing to
Grey Worm
everyone
Yeah,
else.
like
exact-
John.
also, Grey Worm can teleport apparently because he confronts
Yeah.
John
Oh,
in the street.
Oh yeah, the
And it's-
freaking top of the stairs.
That
yeah.
was so bad. Like, how did no one look at that and be like, "This editing doesn't really make any sense"?
Wait, didn't John have the conversation with? Oh no, he had the conversation with Arya after that scene.
While they were walking up. Oh, also the Dothraki and Unsullied apparently respawned just fine after.
Yeah.
Oh
after
well, like
Winter-
this
my
is
God.
this is
And that's
throughout
only half of
most
them.
of it is throughout the entire series. Game of Thrones is not good with logistics
no.
at all.
All right,
That is
so
the
real
entire series.
real funny story. When George R. R. Martin first wrote The Height of the Wall, when they were like, "We need to do this in the show," they actually like showed him how high up it would have to be to exist. It's like, well, I didn't really think of how like high up it would be relative to how like long across Westeros actually is. So even when he wrote this, like distance was really wonky when he first came up with it. So I didn't expect
also
that
not
to
like
in
a
the show. But
I remember the artist. I've seen like an artist rendition of what the Iron Throne looks like based on the description in the books. How it's like this 15-foot tall structure.
yeah,
Although I gotta say, I'm glad the show went what it did.
I mean they had to.
Oh.
Otherwise, every shot with someone on the throne would be
Oh, yeah, it'd be
super
impossible.
zoomed out to
You
get everyone in the frame.
You couldn't see anyone down below. It's also worth mentioning that in the books and in the early seasons of the show, they talk about how it took a dragon 40 days of breathing fire on the throne to make the throne, and then
Drogon just
Drogon's
destroys
really sad, you guys.
it. He's real sad. Real sad.
Can we talk about the dragon for a minute?
What do you want to talk about the dragon?
That whole scene is where I kind of clicked off. Because either Drogon is too smart while being too stupid, or is just literally
that was
Deus
a
Ex
big
Machina for the
problem.
writers. Because the only two ways I can see it is Drogon, psychic connection to Dany, blah, 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 comes in, she's dead. John's there. Okay, well, I've smelled John before. He would never do this. I don't smell anything else. Maybe it's the
It must be the pointy thing in
must
the
be
room.
the pointy thing in the room.
Disappointing.
So then he burns it and then takes his mom away because he's a weirdo. Or he understands the concept of the throne corrupting her and getting her killed, but that doesn't make any sense because he's the one who is like, yep, I'm burning this city down. I'm a dragon. I just burn shit.
Hey, it's because Mama told him to.
You can't have it both ways. It just doesn't make sense. Or he's an idiot and he just got stubborn and burned a chair. But why did we... But then you make it look like it's this whole poetic thing about him burning it.
I typed in why did and in Google, and it went to why didn't Drogon kill
Damn.
by typing in why did.
Nah, you know what would have been a better scene, in my opinion? If freaking Jon got lit up by Drogon, didn't die because he's a Targaryen, supposedly.
I kept on like
And-
for so many episodes.
And then he
like,
flies away, and then you're sitting there, and Jon's sitting there like, ah, fuck, man.
Jon's sitting there naked.
Jon's like, yo, but think about it, like, you know, everything that was said before, like he felt was real, but like then by Drogon doing that to him, that would have cemented it for real.
I don't
Like,
think you
that
can
would've
do
made
that
it
though,
real.
because I think you can't. If Drogon attacks Jon and sets him on fire, you can't not have Drogon then just go, okay, well that didn't work. Swat him with his claw and kill him anyway.
I thought he was just going to eat him in that scene.
Jon would be
perfectly
only
honest.
half on fire though.
The other half
He'd
is
be
frozen.
turned into Two-Face.
Todoroki.
Fucking Todoroki. Yeah,
I
I
just-
mean,
It's like, also, why does Drogon fly away with Dany's body? It's
I mean,
just,
I mean, I'm assuming it's more like a burial kind of thing.
I just,
Like he's very clearly flying back east. He's flying back to his home, and he's bringing mom with him.
yeah, isn't like, weren't a lot of people speculating he's flying back to like old Valyria or something?
Probably like he's flying over the ocean, which is directly to the east. So he's going back. If
Back
you
to the
go under the
past.
assumption that Drogon is smart and he knows that her lust for the throne killed her, if you go under that assumption, that scene makes sense. Where he's like, "Coming here was a mistake. Let's go home."
But that doesn't make
That
sense
said,
because
I
then
don't like that he's that smart.
yeah, but then again, I have to say, why? I get that mom was telling him to burn the city, but if you're smart enough to recognize corruption in your mother, then you should be smart enough to go, this is part of the corruption in my mother.
But I also like burning stuff down, though. Like,
It's because the writers aren't killing off anybody, not people who are important at least. Like everybody else was expendable. They had fucking Sam Tarly in the middle of the battle, and he survived.
We already.
He's still alive.
Look,
That shouldn't have
somehow
happened.
we can't show it. That's even just a minor thing. But like, how can we show no one surviving Winterfell except like 50 dudes, and then all these Dothraki and Unsullied show up? It's just not reasonable at all. Like you said before, logistics, Luigi. But like,
the problem is if they actually kept that number at Winterfell, it wouldn't have looked anywhere near that hopeless.
no.
So they chose something that looked good on screen, even though it's hard to explain when you're not in the moment watching it.
Also, why didn't Dany have like any guards in the throne room? Did she want to be alone, and then they just let Jon in?
Well, she had the best guard possible right outside the door.
Fucking dragon.
The dragon,
I will say the scene of the dragon getting out of the So,
Dark Souls boss scene.
No. When the dragon got out of the rubble and the rubble had just started moving, I turned to Val and I was like, "Holy shit! Did the mountain survive somehow?" like burned to a crisp, eyeballs falling out of his head,
Oh my
mountain
God.
crawling out of it. That would have been crazy. But then it's just Drogon. Just
Nah, just a
also.
dragon.
Oh, it's just exactly.
Also, apparently he was laying there long enough to get the dust on himself, but he had just flown away and done the cool wing shot behind Dany.
Well, I mean, it's been a little while. Jon just went to go talk to Tyrion.
Okay,
and
then
he
there's
walked all the way
another
back.
issue. When are we gonna get some fucking timeline continuity going on here? The
There is
time
none.
jumps here are mind-bogglingly painful.
So
Oh,
that
pretty bad.
so this is something I was thinking about yesterday. This is a real problem. This is the first time that Game of Thrones has never cut away to a different concurrent storyline. Starting with episode 4. Almost every shot is continuously just what, Dany and Jon's group is doing down south.
Mm-hmm.
Previously in Game of Thrones, when you're done telling a part, you can cut away to someone else's storyline and come back whenever you want, and it really doesn't particularly matter because enough time has passed between the scene that you can kind of guess like whether they're in the same spot or a different spot, how long it's been. With this, everything is shot to look like it's happening continuously, but the problem is it's not.
Yeah, like
Like-
Tyrion's, like they say, Jon and Tyrion have been prisoners for weeks when all the lords show up, but then we just kind of blink to Grey Worm and everybody leaving.
Yeah, it's
Which I think is hilarious because it's
Oh
like,
my god.
oh hey, no, this is great. They take John hostage, right? And they're like, nah, whatever you do ain't gonna be fucking good enough. Like, all right, we'll send him across the wall. All right, thanks. Yo, but by the
Yo.
way, we're gonna fuck off. You're gonna keep your word, right?
Like,
Stop
why
above the wall, but we're gonna fuck off. And they're like, yeah, totally, dude.
why didn't Jon just go be king in the north as soon as the Unsullied pieced out? Like, who the fuck
Because
cares what they do?
honor.
Well, we knew it. Well, at the end of the day, right? We
Yeah,
knew
yeah.
that John was going back. We knew that.
Tormund was like true
John
north.
wanted it.
Yo, Tormund was two word. Like, that's a homie right there.
Dude, he stayed back at Castle Black, home of his former enemies, just to wait for Jon because he knew that kid's coming back.
Also, no one gets shafted
He'll
more
be
in this
back.
show than Grey Worm and the Unsullied because they're gonna go to Nath and just never have kids and just die.
Yeah, good. Fuck them. They can end just like everybody else's
but
character.
but
arc.
why does Grey Worm care about Jon being north of the wall?
So
Like, why would you?
I
no,
think he
no,
would've
it's not the
been
north of the wall. It's that
dead.
if he can't become king.
Who can't? Why does
If he-
Grey Worm care? His queen's dead. He should just kill Jon.
He should.
Yeah, he wanted to.
But he could have.
Not hard enough, I guess.
Keep in mind that like
He would have been within his right to kill him, but
All right,
then
so-
everybody would have killed him.
Also,
so
oh, go ahead. No, Freeman.
So,
go.
like, look to our punishment system. You can have the death sentence, or you can have someone in prison for life. And for some reason, they're convinced that the Night's Watch, which has literally actually no reason to exist anymore, is the equivalent of a life sentence in prison.
Yeah.
Also, I
Hey,
like how
man,
they
they
try
got
to
got
address it.
giants up there.
They try to address it when John's like, "Do we even still have a Night's Watch?" Like, no, we don't, because who the fuck needs that shit anymore?
I mean, technically, everybody thought the White Walkers were gone for thousands of years. You know, shit.
Yeah, but we've
That's-
also
shit
never.
happens.
But even during that time, wildlings.
Yeah, they had something to watch.
They weren't
the wall
about the
against.
walkers in the beginning. At the beginning of the show, they were just about the wildlings.
Hmm.
Like Mance
Yeah,
Raider
sure,
was their
yeah.
antagonist. for a
Raider.
while.
Yeah. Giants up there.
But now they do have an alliance. I mean, I don't the fuck. I don't fucking know. Show's garbage.
And like, Grey Worm being like, "Tyrion, you don't get to talk," and then just like Tyrion just
then he-
goes.
And then lets him talk the
And
whole
then-
fucking time.
He
didn't
literally
understand.
weaves Bran into being the king.
Yeah, I like how he went from prisoner to like, oh hey,
And the king
Bran
in
should
20
be
seconds.
king.
Hey guys,
Oh, yo, he's right, man.
Dude,
He's right. Oh.
3 seconds. What's her name? Iron Isles.
Yara.
Yara.
Yeah.
Yara's like, "Yo, fuck,
Daenerys was my
Daenerys was
queen."
my fucking jam," and then like,
And then
yeah,
she
Bran
goes,
can be
"I."
king,
I.
whatever. Like, get the fuck. And then everyone's like, "Oh wait, Sansa can just do that? She could just become her own king." Well, shit. Dorne was a kingdom like more recently than the fucking North was. Why don't they just free themselves again?
I mean, I'll give Yara this one. Her like she respected not Tyrion, Theon at the end of the series, and Theon gave his life to protect Bran. So when you like look at it that way, maybe it's less of a blow. But yeah, she did totally just say.
You know what could have fixed? You know what? I understand that, Freeman. You know what could have maybe conveyed that at all is if she had like had a memento of her brother or something, and like just a single shot of her looking at that and then looking at Bran. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that until you just said it, and I'm sure they weren't thinking of it, but if they had. Also, everyone laughs at democracy. That was pretty funny.
That was great.
Or should the dogs get to vote?
So the big joke is that the Iron Islands like democratically elects the next like house.
But
So
then
she
they-
really shouldn't have been laughing in that
she's
scene.
like, but fuck the Overking, I guess. I don't know. And then like Bran. Okay, oh, you guys have probably seen all the comments online that are like, "Bran, why do you need a Master of Shadows? You can become a bird or something."
Yeah.
I think that's actually a terrible fucking argument because what is the king supposed to spend all of his time warging into shit to follow people around
Yeah,
for the rest
he
of his
also
life?
only warg to one spot at a time. You can't.
Yeah, get the
see
fuck
multiple
out of
places.
here.
He knows all.
So I've got a bone to pick with Bran here.
Please do, because the amount of memes of him being the kid who gets an A after doing no work
Yeah,
were
doing
kind
no
of
work.
glorious.
So
Yeah.
the line he says when Tyrion's like, "Would you accept being king?" and he says the line,
Why do you think I'm here?
Why else did I
I'm
come?"
here?
And I fucking hate it because that line sounds really cool, but it carries insane implications that the
Yes, it
writers like
does.
really very clearly did not even consider when they wrote those sentences down. They're implying that Bran can see the future.
Yes, you're correct. Or that he is somehow so smart that he literally pieced all that together.
The problem with him being able to see the future is that he saw
can
Daenerys
see the
killing all
future.
these people, and that he got to be king, and he's like, "All right,
This is a good
I am
system.
not going to stop this at all." In which case, no, he shouldn't be king. He's just as bad as Daenerys is. But they don't like. But the thing is, they weren't trying to open up that like bubble
Nope,
with this.
they were just
Well,
trying to
even,
make
like,
Bran
so
sound cool.
Let's say that, if he tried to stop it, it's one of those histories written in stone already, which the previous Three-Eyed Raven made very clear not to meddle in the past.
I mean, he made clear not to meddle in the past, but it wasn't one of those like, don't go influencing the future
Yeah.
in the present kind of things.
Don't look into the future and figure out how you should act to get to the better future.
Don't look at 14,000 futures
14
and
million.
go with the one where you end
Well,
up.
like, even if he, whatever he did was supposed to be the future anyway.
Regardless, I'm not disputing how it plays out. I'm angry because it's a very clear-cut sign of they did something that sounded cool without really thinking of what it meant. And that is what makes me angry.
Can I just say, it would have made a lot more sense to me if Bran had been like an advisor or something to the king. Like,
The problem is,
you don't want you don't put a historian in charge of being king because they know. I feel like for someone like Bran, who can literally warg into creatures and be like, know the whole of human history, you should be the one, kind of like Littlefinger and Varys, steering things and helping behind the scenes. You shouldn't be the one in the limelight, this kid in a wheelchair.
Part of me says I think it's fine. Like, he doesn't want the glory and nobility side of being the king. He doesn't want any of that, but he has the authority that a king would have.
Man,
but also, like, it's kind of like the ideals or goals of what would normally be an advisor, someone who just knows a lot about the history of man and can lead in a way that leads in a good direction. Most other kings don't really give a shit about ruling.
But back in medieval, like, if you think about it in a medieval setting, like, people like seeing the strong, visible, charismatic leader. Bran is like a sick kid in a wheelchair who
Broken.
talks like this and is
Bran
very...
the Broken. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
What a
dude.
nickname.
Pick a better nickname
Yeah.
before you become
Also,
king, you idiot.
how fuck Tyrion, because he's like, who else has the better story than Bran? I'm like, dude, Jon died.
Yeah, wow.
Jon
yeah.
fucking
John has the
died.
Jesus
Like,
Christ
are you
plotline
serious?
going for him.
Like, not only did he die, but he did all this other shit. Nah, Bran's got the best story. Like, dude, he said he did nothing. He literally got carried by a fucking idiot for most of the show.
I mean, I think given that John was given that John was going to get killed in prison, I don't think he was an option at that point.
Well, also, can I say, like, it feels cheap to have Jon be like, I don't want the throne. I don't want the throne. I don't want the throne. And then to have Bran also be like, I don't want the throne, but I'll get handed it, I guess. Like,
I'll take it.
we're
I
building
guess.
up, all the dialogue builds up to Jon reluctantly accepting.
So this is them subverting our expectations, because one of Varys' big lines was he said, the best kings are the ones who don't want to rule. So he straight up said that,
Yeah,
which
Jon
made us think,
said
oh,
it.
it must mean John's perfect. But Bran also fits that condition, and
But
oh,
Bran
it's a
never
cool,
said
it's a
it.
cool plot twist.
It's not. There's nothing cool about it.
I was trying to be sarcastic, if you couldn't
Oh.
tell.
No.
Speaking of
Sorry.
sarcasm, why is
So
Braun
mad.
Master of Coin other than fan service?
Because he's a G,
Jesus.
man,
Because
and
it's
I
fan
like
service.
it.
Fuck off.
Yeah, I'll
you're
take
the,
the
like-
fan service.
You're part of
So
the
when it
problem, Tyler.
When it
Correct.
comes
And you
to
know
Braun-
what? It's fine.
Like George Martin did not want him in this season because he's an irrelevant character now.
He sure is irrelevant. He
Well,
showed
you
up
know
in
what?
3
This story,
scenes and
this
became
show
Master
is
of
irrelevant,
Coin.
so
Like I miss
But
when
the
Braun
show
was his
chose
sidekick.
Braun.
Hey,
Like, he was always just a good sidekick, and that was it.
hey, here's a crossbow that killed my dad. Go kill my brothers. Okay, hey brothers, give me more than your sister promised. Okay, now I'm Lord of Highgarden and fucking Master of Coin.
That's
Look,
a
Get
good
they-
lot
out.
like what he is.
Look, after putting him in the arguably worst written dialogue scene in all of Game of Thrones with that one girl who said that he needed a good girl, but he wanted the bad pussy. After putting him in that scene, they had to give him something.
There's just so many things. It's like every little. You know what it is? People always complain when you watch like an hour movie or something and you pick apart minute details. Like I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone in this group, especially me, I feel like it's at this point, have often been yelled at for picking out like minor things to be the thing that kind of turns it all off. But this is like Game of Thrones putting everyone who loves it through an endurance test of, well, can you handle this shitty thing? Well, can you handle this fucking thing? Well, try to handle this happening and still love the show. Like, it's amazing how it seems like they made almost every wrong decision. How do you do that?
Simple. You just want to direct Star Wars and not this
Oh, I hate
crappy
that
Lord of the Rings
excuse.
knockoff.
Oh my god, that's the worst excuse ever. Like, because all these guys have shown is, hey, we can adapt a book series that had a lot of great groundwork and make it good, and then whoops, when it came to writing ourselves, that's pretty hard.
Whoops.
Hey,
It's
whoops.
a little difficult. It's a little difficult.
Like, the last spoken line of the show outside of Queen of the North is Tyrion's fucking joke about the brothel.
No one gives. Yeah, no one gives a
You'll
shit.
And it's like-
never know what the joke is.
Good. I don't want to. Tyrion can stop riding that joke. He's the hand of the king again. Like, how many times is
For the
Tyrion
third
gonna flip?
time.
Third time.
Wait, when was?
Oh, yeah,
when was
didn't-
he
yeah,
the
he
hand of
was
the king
hand
before
He
back.
shook his
Daenerys?
hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was hand for. Oh my god, all the
He was
way
hand
back.
for 3.
Yeah. Way back
Hold
in
on,
King's
who was he
Landing.
for? Because I thought Tywin took over when
Yeah, but originally it was.
Originally,
yeah,
it was Tyrion.
And then Tywin showed up and Joffrey's like, "Yep, now Grandpa."
Oh, was he was the hand right after Ned before Tywin shows up at the Battle of
Yeah.
Blackwater, right?
Yep,
okay.
He was the
God,
intern.
so long ago.
Inter-
I'm
yeah,
forgetting.
I
this
know.
already.
I forgot too. I thought Danny had like made him hand, then been like, "Nah, I don't like you anymore," and then been like, "Yeah, okay, you can be hand again."
God, I was still. I didn't have a degree when that scene came out. All right, that's so long ago.
God, but that's the kind of thing that it feels like they just like. How many times is Tyrion gonna get away with this shit?
It's fine. He was a good hand.
Apparently not.
Was
he
he though?
wasn't.
No,
He
he
made
At
every
the end,
mistake
he
for
was
Danny.
not.
He made every mistake.
When the first time he was a
No,
hand?
for Danny.
No, later on.
Hey, Danny,
like,
my sister's totally gonna. Nope.
when they're in the end game.
I mean, I think he's good at running King's Landing as a city.
Nah, you know where the problem went? When he stopped drinking and whoring.
Really?
That's when
that
the
was when he was
problem
interesting.
started. Well, it's not even when he was interesting. He was making an actual decent decision.
I mean,
he
right
went
at-
out
at
there,
one-
he fought, he got the dragon's breath or whatever.
Oh
He was
yeah,
making-
and
Dragon
they-
he
Fire.
was
yeah.
making moves.
The
Battle of he ain't got-
Blackwater.
He
Yeah,
didn't
I
have
think
as much alcohol or the women and.
Well, like
so
if
on
by
and so forth.
moves, now that I'm thinking about it, it's only the one move he made,
It is
which
really
was the
odd.
Dragonfire, and they didn't do like everything else was. Oh well, like where do we put the clean water? Oh, not with all the people.
Yeah, he did kind of brag about that one a little bit.
And then apparently Sam can just become a maester. Guess.
Yo, how does Sam jump that high? That's horseshit, actually.
What?
I'm not okay with that. How he
Sam.
jumped to Grand Maester.
I don't.
You can't just
It's
jump
because
that far.
because
So,
the rest all died.
I
Isn't that like
Well, the
I'm
the
pretty
Grand
sure
Maester
he's
is
not Grand
is
Maester.
requested.
He is. What the hell? He sat at the table.
that not because he's Grand Maester?
Yeah,
Why
the
is he
way
there?
the way I took it was he is the most personable of the Maesters and like newly promoted and everything.
No.
But I didn't take it.
He
He's
wore the fucking robes and everything.
yeah, but he kept saying the Grand Maester thinks. Sam's not such a dickhead that he would speak in the third
No, actually,
person.
no. You're right. The Grand Maester has a seat on the Small Council according to a wiki of Fire and Ice.
But
Yeah, I know this because I read the books.
I don't disagree. But why would Sam? No one. When would Sam speak in the third person? I have to imagine like the current Grand Maester is just not capable, so he sent Sam.
I
There's-
thought
Might be.
Maesters were requested.
Also, this dude doesn't even have a chain.
Yeah,
Sam
well,
doesn't even have a chain.
He saved the world, sort of. Not really.
No, he didn't. He was nothing but a burden in that in that third episode. He got people killed. He should have
Look.
died.
You're correct.
He should have died. Like, I'm actually pissed about this.
Yeah.
Of all the things that happened, I'm actually more upset that Sam is alive.
Oh yeah, I mean, we all.
No. Hold on. Sam is a treasure, but
he is not.
no,
He's
yes,
dead.
Yes,
he's
he is.
wonderful, and everyone
not.
loves him, and
He-
he deserves the best in the world. But he should not
Why?
be on the
But he's
Explain to
battlefield
me
dead.
Why?
because he's such a good person, and he
He
makes
got
lots.
good people killed.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's not a bad person because someone decided to protect him.
Tyler,
Because we
You're a
have,
bad guy, just not a
no.
bad guy.
Luigi's saying if Sam was supposed to survive Winterfell, why did you put him on the front lines? Because it
Yeah,
would be
I
so much
think
more
his voice
believable
was
if he's
bad.
like in the crypt.
Because it would
Yeah.
be
Because
boring
it
with him in
sucks.
the crypt, and they're only trying to make
Okay.
exciting action
Oh my
television.
God, sure. So let's spawn Sam outside the fucking trenches, and somehow, well, I mean, considering billions of Dothraki and Unsullied also made it through that, even though they were on the other side of the trenches, I
Hey,
guess it
hold
doesn't
on.
matter.
We gotta remember, Game of Thrones does not do logistics well at all.
No.
Right, that's the entire series. Like that's
I mean, it kind of used
no,
to, but not now.
Nope, not one bit. They suck at it. They suck at logistics.
Also, they also apparently suck at aiming scorpions after they go 1 for 1, and then they go about 1 for 5,000. So
I was waiting for this to happen. I was so fucking angry when she just eliminates the scorpions in the first 10 minutes of the conflict.
Rhaegal dies to shot 1, and that's the last shot that ever hits for the eternity.
No. He died to 3 nearly consecutive shots that all hit their mark, and then none hit for the rest of the series.
No, because Dany flew out of the sun, so clearly she has the high ground.
Oh,
That's some horseshit. You see her
You're
slowly
correct.
raising.
You
the
absolutely-
entire
You're getting
wall of
ready
the
for
castle.
Star Wars.
No, you're
Look, when that
you're
dragon went for that
correct.
trench run,
It's terrible. Like, how do these scorpions all miss when Euron totally blasted Rhaegal's ass? You can't have it both ways again. Also,
like it can't be threatening enough to take her down at the same time. Also, be a steamroll. Like
yep.
it's too inconsistent and it's not
Also,
convincing.
since when are we in a world where Cersei wouldn't have just ass blasted them when they visited the gates in 4? Like, seriously, they're right in range of the ballistas that just tore apart a fleet. Why? Why are you not just killing them, Cersei? You don't
Yeah,
give a
she's not
shit.
the kind of leader who sees honor towards her enemies. Given that the last group of enemies she totally just blew up
Yeah.
at a religious ceremony.
Yeah. Oh my god, it was
Yeah, what happened to
it
that
was a wedding,
cold-blooded
right?
shit?
Wasn't it a wedding?
It was
No,
it
it
was
was
some
a,
kind of
it was a
trial.
trial.
Council
no, it was a
thing, yeah.
trial for
It was a
Marjorie's
trial.
brother.
That's what it was.
And both Marjorie's brother and Cersei.
That's
Oh,
right.
she didn't even bother.
She didn't
attending
show
her.
up, and everyone's like, "Oh, what
Well,
a bitch!"
she
and
didn't
then they
want
blew
to.
up.
She was.
She didn't
She
want
was
to burn
late.
on the
Okay.
fire.
Yeah, that's right. But like, oh
Don't
my
blame her,
god.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to burn in my own fire either. So
Sure, but then like, just fucking kill the There's Dany and all of her best friends. There's your brother that killed your dad that you hate. Like, just shoot him. Why are you letting them walk away? Like, what? Do you think your soldiers who are still loyal to you through all this shit are suddenly gonna ditch you now? Get out of here. Oh my god.
I feel like Tyrion should have died there.
Sure.
That would have meant a lot.
Could have
That
easily
would have
seen
made me
Cersei.
so fucking mad.
Oh yeah.
So
That would have made me so fucking.
So I saw a pretty interesting theory about this season. So we were talking about Bronn earlier. You know the whole Bronn's got to go kill the Lannisters plot line?
Yep. Goes nowhere.
Those two scenes could have been filmed completely independent of the rest of the season and later added in because they have no bearing anywhere else in the season.
Get out.
Yeah.
No. Get out.
Yes.
No.
They could. No. Think about it. They could have.
I know, but I don't care. Get out. I don't want to hear this. This is horrible. That's
So
so disgusting. Why would you ever?
Because here's the thing. She clearly wants him dead, and I don't understand why she gives a shit about...
Are you
like,
telling
she-
me they couldn't get
if
Cersei
not-
to come back to shoot that first scene, but they could get Tyrion and Jaime back to shoot the second scene?
Well, I mean, she wasn't in the first scene.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Well, no,
that
she
implies that
won't-
the
she
actress
won't be
didn't
on
come back.
stage She will not
Oh,
be on
right.
stage with Bronn's actor because
I
their
forgot.
whole off-camera beat.
I
So
forgot
beef. So
about
that's unrelated. But what I'm trying to say was, no, this adds into what you're saying of why didn't you just kill them at the gate? If she's paying assassins to go kill Tyrion and he walks right in arrow range, I don't know what the fuck she's doing.
I'm more
She
than willing to
is
send.
paying River Run for his death.
Also, like, the fact that Bronn just walks in there and no one else is in the scene, it's so bad.
What's up, bitch?
Hey guys, give me River Run. Okay, bye. I'm keeping an eye on you somehow. Somehow,
worst part
some
is-
way.
He fires that warning shot, and it takes like a good 30 seconds to arm that crossbow.
Oh, normally, yeah, but if you're
In that
Bronn,
time,
Bronn
they
magic
just didn't want
hands.
to jump him or anything.
No,
Yeah, I
because they
guess
were
not.
shocked that he would shoot at them.
Well, you see, Bronn took the was it the quick hands feat when he leveled up, so
Quick
he could
reload, quick
in half
reload.
the time. Yeah, he took quick reload.
It took
Rapid reload.
it took a free action, not a move action to reload.
Yeah, so it's like he shot and then he reloaded at the end of his turn.
But
you
he
know?
didn't draw an attack of opportunity or anything. Like, this is ridiculous.
There was an
Yeah,
obstruction. The table was in the way.
Well, no.
Oh my
Well, so
God.
what happened was he got that attack of opportunity. So that's what triggered the initiative, and he rolled high on initiative.
Yeah.
Damn, D&D is ruining D&D too.
They were also flat-footed. They were leaning back in their chairs.
Yeah.
Little
so, I
drunk.
mean, yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
there
sorry
you go.
to
It can be
derail us with the Braun.
The whole
not
this
mattering
whole
theory.
episode is about derailing, because the whole show derailed. Like, it's only appropriate that this is just a rambling mess because that's what the show is now.
So, right before I left for home, 'cause there was a huge crash near my office today, I was sitting in my car and I watched the end. I guess it was middle of season 3 when Tyrion's on trial and he demands the trial by combat. It's one of those scenes where the whole thing stands out as just amazing between the way the cinematography was, how the music built up to it, the acting of everyone in the scene, and just the content of that scene, how heavy it was. And I realized, I don't know if any of the scenes this season were that heavy.
Episode 2.
Episode 2 was really, I would
Are you
say
talking
it's
about the
heavier
Brienne
with-
knighting scene? Or
Just the whole thing. The dialogue is what holds this show together. Like, the tiny moment of Sansa and Theon eating a meal together before the battle.
Yeah.
That right there is what all of Game of Thrones is. It's not about anything but what's
Arya
actually
Gendry
happening.
smashing.
Here's the thing, though. Like
God.
with I think episodes 1 and 2 are fine, but 3 through 6 are the problem episodes, and I'm trying to illustrate that. Like, is there a scene from 3 through 6 that stands out to you as an amazing scene?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Of course there is. Clegane Bowl.
Oh God.
Where's my air
I'll tell
horn?
you. I'll tell you what.
My vuvuzela.
The
needs to-
opening of episode 6, I thought was fine with following Tyrion.
I would. So that's actually a great point, Luigi. Normally, I would agree with you. When we're in the finale and you have so much to do, you can't just use 5 minutes of that precious runtime on this. We understand the emotional impact of this. We can't waste. That was what the Arya scene felt like to me. It was the Arya scene was here's the impact of everyone just shell shocked. So why do we need it again when we need every minute to try to clean this shit up and finish? It just felt like
Well, I mean, like so they cleaned the corners. They didn't use bounty. It was just generic brand paper towels. It didn't settle
It was
right.
just
It was really
generic.
unsatisfying. But I thought the start was it just was really somber.
it was.
Thousands of people were just lit on fire, and we are there about to feel an emotional impact for the person we thought was as the audience an emotional impact of the person we think is our enemy.
I
who is
totally agree, but I just feel like we've had so much emotional impact over the course of this show. It just feels like, how did they not feel like they needed more time to get more done? Like add more to scenes, add more dialogue. Like the only serious long form dialogue we get in the whole episode is Tyrion talking to Jon, and the council. That's kind of it.
Yeah, it was a bad episode.
So if you look back at episode 5, it could have been a normal length episode if we cut out 15 minutes of the Arya running through the street sequences.
Okay,
That.
me and
A lot of
Val's
these-
family.
Hey! Let's dedicate some of that CGI over to Doggo.
No. So that episode is the single best example in the entire show of the writing is the problem. Every other thing was stellar. The cinematography, the CGI, everything was amazing about that. You felt like you were on the fucking ground floor of a dragon attack. That was stellar. But you can't not think about why the fuck is this happening.
Yeah.
But so this is, before I forget, I wanted to say, can you guys maybe answer this better than Val's family can? Because as soon as the episode ended and we were talking about it, I said, what the fuck was the point of Arya getting on that horse at the end of episode 5 to just
If she ain't
appear
got no horse.
standing in the middle of the field, in the middle of the
Yeah.
city in episode 6?
I mean, there was just a lot of symbolism with it. Like,
And
why
none of
is
it
why is there a
mattered.
horse? That's the thing. It's whether or not you enjoy it or not. Because why is there a fucking horse in the middle of a battlefield? I don't know. The horse just
Dothraki,
stood there
The
because
Dothraki
the
had
horse
dead
brought
was
it
in
on
carriage
horses.
puller, like it pulled a cart. Like it doesn't matter why the
There are
horse
horses
was
in the
there.
city.
I'm just saying it actually. I totally get the symbolism, but it feels like it cheapens the symbolism to not have Arya with the horse, because then it's like, yes, clearly you just cared about the symbolism and didn't even think about it later.
Like, so which part are you like? Why was the horse there?
I get that there's symbolism, but when has Game of Thrones ever been about just showing you a thing for symbolism and then not making it real and actually have a reason in universe? Like, why, even if we just seen Arya getting off the horse after like riding up to Jon or something, you're making it basically feel like that's almost a dream sequence kind of thing, or it feels like the writers are just saying this is the symbolism part, but they didn't even think about how that connects to anything. They just went, we need symbolism about this.
You
It
are
feels
severely
artificial.
overestimating how smart these writers are.
I
What they said
get
is,
that, but
we need to write a way for Arya to get away from the rebel.
But when
That's
has
all
this-
it was.
but I don't think.
But she is death, and death rides the pale
Pale
horse.
horse.
I know. That's
Except they didn't realize that when they wrote it, and they're just like, "Oh, give her a horse so she can ride out, so we have a cool outro." Scene.
Yeah, it's not that fucking deep.
It's not that deep.
It never was.
What I loved about this season was after every episode, someone had some crazy theory like Bran's gonna come back as the Night King in episode
Oh my
6,
God.
and every episode I'm like, no, it's not that deep. This season is what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
Like, I want to remind you, we went from like Varys had a grand total of 12 minutes from actually betraying Daenerys to getting caught and dying. It wasn't that deep.
Well, this
Wasn't that
season.
deep.
Well, this season. So I don't know if we want to transition to the how this season impacts the whole show.
sure.
I'm still going to recommend Game of Thrones to people, but I'm going to have to put the same disclaimer I put on Dexter, the same disclaimer I put on How I Met Your Mother, and say the last season wasn't that great, but overall this show is amazing.
I mean, for Dexter, it's don't watch seasons 5
Don't watch
through 8.
seasons 5 through, yeah. It's, oh boy, 1 through 4 are real good.
Oh, like Supernatural.
You understand.
Yeah.
You could, yeah, sure.
So,
Yeah, sure.
do you recommend people watch the beginning of Supernatural?
I do. I actually recommend watching Supernatural up to season 5. Like, I genuinely think it's a good show. Like, it has its moments where it's like, but like I would watch it with an episode guide,
So
if that makes sense.
I understand what you're saying. I want to pull this back into the weeb shit because that seems to be what I do all the time. I was hoping Game of Thrones would be a Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood where I tell everyone you need to watch it. Instead, it's more like a Bleach where I say you need to watch the first 70 episodes.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's just going to be the legacy of the show because they decided to butcher the last
The
season.
first 69.
But that said, I personally kind of want to rewatch seasons 1 through 7 now, just because I remember how much I enjoyed it, and I know that Game of Thrones is a good show. So I know a lot of people are saying this ruined the entire show for them, but I can ignore a bad season of a show, especially because in the grand scheme of things, like if people who are marathoning this show, season 8 is not that large of a percentage of the show. It just
Mhm.
happens to be like an important percentage of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Unless the petition goes through.
Oh my!
And
Get
then
out.
we can
Ain't
get
gonna
a whole
it's
new
not
season
happening.
8.
I like how everyone's like, "Oh, if it gets enough signatures, the president has to address him." Like,
No, that's
do you think
stupid.
45 is going to call up HBO
No.
and demand they redo season 8?
It's not gonna happen.
I'm unnaturally
to gain by
angry with
doing that.
everyone who signed that petition because it's like the only reason you signed this petition is not because you actually think anything's going to happen unless you're
It's just to, like-
you're deluding yourself, or
It's just to voice your opinion.
yes, it's just to add your name to an official list of this sucked. It's like instead of going to each review site and writing a bad review, you just go to somewhere where you can say, "Hey, this has headlines. Everyone who puts their name on this is officially saying I think this was terrible." And that's why they're doing it. And it's like, man, that's lazy.
I mean, yo, what do you think we're doing?
But we're actually like
Hey,
talking and discussing.
we're on YouTube.
Yeah, right. We're on YouTube.
That's right. All 3.2 of our viewers.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, sorry, all 2.2 of our viewers for this week.
Oh shit. Wait. I forgot what I was gonna say.
I'm unsatisfied.
I think
too
we can
am
all agree with this.
unsatisfied.
Now
Our
here's
disappointment is immeasurable.
with my like
Immeasurable.
in the moment watching episodes 3 and 5, I got really fucking tense throughout the whole thing. It really got my goat real good. I always rewatch the episodes the day afterwards, and like we
wow.
always tell each other our initial opinions. I get really excited over the episodes, like the fucking action really got me, like it's supposed to, because it's television.
Yeah.
But it's just disappointing to see where
Man, I didn't even
good
get a
writing
chub,
went.
dude. Like that whole show, I
Look,
got nothing.
Look, throwing a D20 is exciting, but when it comes up a 1, it ends up, you're just like, why the fuck did I do that?
Yeah.
That's the same way. I mean, I'll admit it. Like watching the Battle of Winterfell, despite certain questionable military decisions, I'll say I enjoyed watching the battle when it was illuminated.
When it
But-
was illuminated.
When you turned
But
up your
after-
brightness.
When you turn the brightness, but after seeing what happened after the fact, I don't like it as much. Same with when. All right, so the entirety of episode 5, when they're invading the city, I thought it was cool. I liked the whole standoff, and then the Lannisters put down their weapons. Like, cool. This was a cool way to invade the city that wasn't bullshit. And then the fire started, and I spent the next 40 minutes saying to myself, "No, why are you doing this? No, why are you doing this? No, why are you doing this?" So, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I did enjoy the battles up till that point. They were very entertaining to watch. I'll give them that much.
Yeah, that much.
That CGI team did a good job.
I will say it's hilarious how like a bunch of the CGI in this season looked really good, except actually Clegane Bowl looked like they were in the middle of a green
It
screen.
looked like trash.
But also,
Yeah.
every time anyone rides a dragon, it looks so
It looks so bad.
so fake. Like, it never looks like there's a person on a dragon. It looks like there's a person leaning over like one of those bull riding things in bars, and then there's a dragon animated under the CGI, under the green screen that they're sitting on. It
So
just
that was-
looks like they're totally disconnected.
So here's actually something interesting. So you go to episode 3, and there's a lot of close-up shots of John and Danny on their dragons. But you go to episode 5, and they made a really cool decision here. They said once Danny starts her destruction, we are not going to show her for the rest of the episode. The rest of the episode, the point of view is either from people on the ground or long shots of Drogon. So I thought that was cool because you accept like it's her doing this shit, but you don't need to physically see her face to know she's doing this.
I feel like one shot of, because we don't know what she's thinking. Has she just turned over to reveling in it? Is she crying? Like, I kind of wish we could have seen it just one time, because we kind of get the impression at the, like, does she actually feel bad at any point? Is she, like, going crazy about it? Like, it lasts a long time.
Yeah, it's like 45 minutes of it.
I kind of wish we could see just once what her face looks like that whole time. Is she still just like grimacing harder and harder the whole time? I don't know. I feel like we could have gotten a lot more emotion out of her, because then we cut to episode 6 where she's just like, okay, time to purge the whole world.
I mean, I kind of liked it. It was a different perspective that it showed you that this wasn't about her. This is about what she's doing to people, to like feel the actual magnitude of what her dragon can do to just destroy an entire city. I thought it was cool, and they took it away from being about her to being more about the destruction.
That's fair. I don't know.
We also like that close up. Well, we do see a close up before she takes off, and we already know what she's feeling because everybody's been in that state.
I
The
know,
only
but
difference is she has a fucking dragon.
Dragon.
I mean,
We throw
so
a temper
much of
tantrum,
it
that's
has-
like pillows being thrown to the ground, and instead hundreds of thousands of people are just being burnt alive.
yeah.
Tomato, tomato.
I don't know. There's so much of this season where it feels like we got ripped off with the dialogue and facial and like seeing people react to things getting cut. Like, it's still going to be one of the greatest crimes of this season that Jon decides to tell Sansa and Arya, and we don't get to see or hear their reactions.
Yeah, it was horseshit.
That's insane. Like, this whole show, like we just said before, is all about the dialogue making things great, and it's just like, nope.
Oh, fuck us. Man, I just want to talk about John Wick. This is bullshit.
Oh my god. You gotta save it for next week.
Yeah, I gotta
Snow.
save
Oh
it
my-
for next week.
Nah, he's gonna secretly use his closing to just talk about John Wick instead.
Dude, I just want to talk about John Wick.
Because I'm
man.
secretly using my closing section to just talk about the weeb shit anyway.
Well, then I just want to raise one final point about Game of Thrones before we go into closing. What do you guys, I know we kind of touched on it, but what do you guys think of, like, not the finale, but the end?
The end.
Like, how everything basically is left hanging or left off.
How did I feel about the ending?
Like, we already talked about Bran, but there's more to it than that. There's like Sansa's thing and everything, and
Yeah, I don't know. Overall, I was left disappointed. I know endings aren't perfect. Like, you can't just end it, but like I feel like there was actual potential here, and I feel like there was something that could have been done, and I feel like we know as viewers that they knew something was up, yet I don't know. Like, it feels like they knew they did this on purpose.
I wonder if they
I
made so
can't
few
say.
episodes because they didn't feel confident in their ability to write more.
See, that's some George R. R. Martin shit. And like, I don't like. But see, that was his excuse, and I honestly I
understand.
can't take that excuse. It's like, well, I don't understand. Like, do you just not want to write this anymore? Do you not care about it, or anything like that? I'm like, I understand this is your story, but like, just like I feel like you gotta tell us something.
Mm-hmm.
Like what is it? Like I feel like there isn't a lot of communication. They're not gonna say why they made the decisions what they did. They're just gonna say at the end of the day, yeah, this is it. This is how it ends and goodbye. They never responded to anything. They didn't respond to any of the criticisms so far.
Mm-hmm.
Just said they literally said, "Oh, we're gonna literally fuck off and drink alcohol and just be away from the internet." That's literally what they said.
Yep, that is what they said.
Really?
It's yeah, they actually tweeted that out.
So it's like, how can I respect writers or producers who don't even want to engage with their fans? They don't want to hear them out. I understand people are mad at some dumb shit, but like, there should be some engagement.
You know what
And
really
I don't think it's
sucks?
right.
These guys have definitely received death threats for this.
Oh,
I mean,
def.
like that's just because people are awful.
Yeah, well, that's just people being dumb.
No, I know, I agree, but it sucks. That just really sucks.
I think it's just not Game of Thrones. The ending it's nice and wholesome, and I didn't feel any of the anxiety or excitement as I did for the other episodes. Because even though the writing wasn't great, at least I had that like anticipation that something bad is going to happen, and then it's like, oh, and then everybody is doing okay, and that's what really bothers me because there is no reality. I have no tether to everything is going to be okay. If I wanted something to change, I think Danny should have won in the most tyrannical way possible. Instead of breaking a wheel, she just constructs a new one, a new, because the notion of these high-born leaders doing what's best for the people doesn't exist. All of them laughed at the idea of democracy. They just see themselves. They should be in power. And even after an entire battle sequence, like the first person to speak up who wants to be king is fucking Uncle.
Mhm.
What's his name? I don't even give a shit because he's there for
Ed Muir Tully. Shut the
Just to
fuck
be
up.
funny. Oh my
No,
god.
he's pointless. Pointless. He's pointless. He's a coward, and he
Uncle,
doesn't
sit
do anything.
down.
And he's
That was
like,
pretty
I
funny.
think I should be king, and that's because he doesn't give a fuck about anything else. They're all in it for themselves. I mean, the same as like Sansa, for example, still in it for herself. She wants that power.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was just kind of handed to her because she's the only one left.
And like, who's going to argue with it?
The
Who's going to argue with the potential king's sister?
The fact that
Yeah.
Sansa though just is like, by the way, we're breaking away by, and no one else tries that.
No one said anything about it. Like they're like, "Oh, all right, man." Yeah, sure.
They're like, yeah, that's reasonable. Yeah, you earned that shit.
So, like, Danny should have won. The world should have been on fire. Everyone's miserable. Nothing good happens. God's and I think that's the kind of the truth in all our lives, isn't it?
Oh my god. Friedman?
Sorry, I was reading into what the guys had to say. What did you just ask me?
Like, what did you think of the end?
So
How do
I
you
kind of
feel
said
at
it.
the end?
I said it earlier that going into the season, I didn't think they would be able to wrap it up at all in any way that seems remotely conclusive. I'm happy they found a way to wrap it up. Like, I thought it was conclusive enough, and I'm happy because of that. I'm not happy about individual details, but I'm happy they managed to make it conclusive. You guys know this from watching anime. Endings that don't conclude anything are the worst type of endings, and I fucking hate it. So if you can give me a conclusive ending, your score goes up my books, regardless of how shitty it ended up. But if it's what's his name? The guy from Glass Reflections. His catchphrase is, "The ending is paramount." If you can't finish the last minute in a way that just kind of wraps it, then it's not an ending.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this was viable as an ending. It's the best way I can put it. Viable.
I mean, when you have your main character abandon their home, go up north, and become a lumberjack, I think Jon Snow fits that depiction pretty well.
Oh my god.
Look, they didn't beat around the bush. Even he said, "This is where I'd rather go." Everyone who wanted him to pet Ghost got their wish.
Yeah, so he basically won after killing Danny. He
In
got exactly what
reality,
he wanted.
He got what he wanted.
After reusing a scene from a previous season, you know.
I don't. Is that confirmed, Tyler?
Wait, do they really?
I don't
one of the-
know, but it looks like it though.
One of the podcasts I was listening to today actually was talking about Game of Thrones for like an hour and a half also. And they brought up apparently some people believe / have some evidence that the scene of John petting Ghost is actually re-edited from an old scene of John petting Ghost, and they just put in a new model of Ghost with the ear gone. I
Wait, really?
don't actually know if that's true or not. I haven't looked. I never saw that, but I've heard that from now that podcast and Tyler. But at the time, they sounded like they weren't sure if it was true or not. I don't know.
Well, there's only one thing to do: watch the entire Game of Thrones series with that clip of him petting Ghost in the corner, and just once we see the screen line up, pause it and give everyone the episode number. It's the
Yeah.
only way. Now our watch has started.
Now our watch has actually started. Fuck. Just want to talk about John Wick.
Paul, did everyone give their
I'm
opinion, or
just
did we miss
kidding.
someone?
No, wait, Tim, did you say it?
No, I didn't.
You gotta say it. What did you think, man?
You know, I'm the person who actually disagrees with Luigi. Luigi's like, I love the villains. I love the bad people winning. And I'm like,
Whoa! I didn't say I love them. I just said,
it's
it's
more
probably just a
interesting.
better ending.
Yeah. I disagree. Like, I fucking loved Endgame and everything like that, but this just didn't feel like Game of Thrones. But I don't know how to fix it, and I don't think anyone can fix it, and I think I want to rewatch the whole show, because it has been years since watching those first seasons.
It's also a really good show, all things considered.
I would like to, now knowing how it ends, go back and rewatch the whole thing someday. I don't even know if I'll ever get to. I honestly don't know, because there's so many other shows in the world that exist. But I'd like to try someday to just binge through it and see how it feels. Because, like, I've complained to you guys about, like, watching anime and stuff. Hell, like, starting binging a show and then pausing and then finishing it slowly gives it this weird duality where you spend so much time blasting through chunks, and then the later stuff you have to take slow. I want to see what it's like to just blast through the whole thing and just sit down and watch it over like a month and watch like an episode or two a day and just go through it again all in one set, because maybe it does feel different. Maybe that's where some of the impression that people get of Danny having been set up for this. I understand that point of view, and I just don't think it was earned. But like you said, Luigi, with Brienne, how you felt that wasn't earned. Who knows? I want to sit through it like that, because this show has been going on for so long. I just feel like we're never going to be able to recreate for anyone in the future what it was like to wait years for this last season. So if I ever want to recommend it to people, they'll be binging the show, and I want to know what it's like to binge it first, because I know what my impressions are. I did love those first few seasons, as much as sometimes it hurt, but like, I still remember watching Ned die for the first time, and just the horror of seeing that happen. And it's like, this is
So, like, I think there's a problem with binging the first, like, I would say 4 seasons. And that's because there's so much fucking going on.
Yes.
It's hard to just keep in line with everything. I miss things that I've only picked up on my third watch of the show. Because I watched this show multiple times.
I agree
because my
with
dad
you,
absolutely loves this show.
but I think this actually gets worse when you do the half binge, half not. Because like we were talking about, like, hell, Tyler's comment about Tyrion being the hand 3 times. I had forgotten that. Friedman had forgotten that until it's like, oh yeah, 6 years ago when I was binging the first 4 seasons, Tyrion was the hand for a different point. Remember when Joffrey was the biggest villain we'd had?
Yeah.
That feels like
he was hand while I was binging.
that feels like actually a lifetime ago. But if you binge the show, not so much. I don't know. I guess I should stop rambling about other things and just answer my own question.
Answer the fucking question.
Answer the question.
I don't know. I honestly don't know if I can recommend this show to anyone. I also don't really know anyone who hasn't watched the show. And if they haven't been into it for years and years or never even wanted to get into it.
My dad won't stop talking about how he doesn't watch Game of Thrones. He posts
Yep.
memes about not watching Game of Thrones.
The
Oh
only
my, there's people who take pride in not watching it. It's so
Yeah.
weird.
They're called hipsters.
I don't know if my dad's a hipster either, but
There are so many people on Facebook. Oh, I hope you're glad that your show was bad. I'm like, dude, seriously, come on, man.
I feel like, you know what? I feel like maybe I would recommend the show only because the years of enjoying the show is worth the pain at the end of it not being as good. It's a question of the journey versus the conclusion. Are you on a journey for the journey, or are you on a journey for the end?
Man, that journey at the end sucks though. Like that last leg just is thorny and full of bandits. It's like,
But it's all about the friends we made along the way.
God, even if I can't look at them the same way again.
You know, we all weren't friends. We didn't even know each other back when this show first started.
I didn't even know this
you
show
were.
first started
Yeah.
when the show first started. I didn't even hear
Yeah.
about it until season 3.
It's just weird.
We were not friends that long ago.
Mm-hmm. Now here we are, all four of us on a podcast an hour and a half in.
Complaining about the show.
Anyway, I think we've earned our. Now our watch has ended. Ha,
Yeah,
ha, ha.
we've earned our ending, unlike some things.
I will say. Oh my god! I will say. While some of the memes, like the whole Bran getting an A thing, are rather mean, some of them are quite funny. Like Val showed me the one earlier of Jaime being such a good king killer that he tried to kill the king 8 seasons ago.
Oh.
Have you guys seen that? You haven't?
Yeah, with him
Yes.
pushing Brian out. Yeah, I saw that one.
Tyler, had
That's
you not
funny.
seen that?
No, I
Oh,
haven't
it's
seen
so great.
that.
It's just the picture of Jaime pushing Bran out the window, and it's just saying, King Killer's so good, he tried to kill the king 8 years ago.
Damn. Nah, there was a lot of good memes. If this season spawned anything, it was dank memes.
Oh, man, so many comments last night were so good. Or 2 nights ago. 2 nights ago. The amount of comments I saw on Reddit, like, good thing Drogon burned down the Iron Throne so that now there's an iron ramp for Bran.
Damn, Jesus.
Or Drogon got rid of the throne, guys. We need to make the next king someone who has his own chair already.
Brought his own seat with him.
So
I
many
don't know
of them
why,
were so
but I
good.
died when it's the picture I think I got from you guys. But it was the first panel was Jon, Grey Worm, and Tyrion. And they're with the side characters Mulan, and they're singing "A Girl."
Oh,
Worth
yeah!
Oh, yeah, sometimes
And then
they
it
roll up on the
cuts-
destroyed village.
It's like, oh no.
That one was so good. Also, Freeman sharing the picture from earlier with Daenerys is my queen, Bran should be king. I
Just Yara turning around in an instant.
Sansa literally 0.2 milliseconds after a king is picked, Brexit.
So I-
or call them out saying that his dick don't work. That was fucked up.
Yeah, for real.
Yo,
I
guys,
sent the Brexit,
don't worry.
I sent the Brexit one to my mom and brother because I was just in London with them, and we wouldn't stop making Brexit jokes the whole time we were there. So I sent them, and they're both dying seeing that one.
Stick him with the disappointy end. That's another good one.
Oh, and then the
Yeah.
last one you put.
Yeah,
You
Freeman's.
couldn't live with your own failure. Why
Oh.
did you bring that, you John? Back to me.
For anyone who wants to join in on the memeage, the subreddit Free Folk is just everyone who's mad about the show, and there's no censorship, so it's meme city.
Free
no
folk is
censorship's
the
best
real.
part.
Free
Ca-
folk is the real one.
Can I say how impressive it is that a show managed to bring 3 subreddits right to the top of Reddit with their post-episode discussion posts?
Yeah.
Like, what is it? ASOI, whatever, A Song of Ice and Fire, Free Folk,
acronym.
and the Game of Thrones subreddit all went straight to the top of Reddit.
You guys got to go on right now. Some of the top hosts are fire.
Are they really?
Yes.
Oh, you couldn't. Yeah, your own. Back to me. That was another good one. Or the Freeman, you're even more topical meme about Game of Thrones and Kingdom Hearts 3 fans doing the
Oh
Arnold
my
arm
God.
clench. Fans waiting years just to be severely disappointed by a terrible
Dude,
writing.
it was that level. It was that level of disappointment.
Oh my god, it's so brutal.
All right, let's.
God, I hate my life.
It's pretty good.
So anyway, John Wick 3 was dope,
Yeah.
everybody. You should see it.
Oh no. I gotta watch the
Alright.
first one first.
Yeah, I gotta watch
Oh.
all of them.
Okay, that's understandable. Man, oh my god, I met my friend's sister for the first time the other day. I was like, "Oh man, I watched John Wick 3, like it was a great." And she's like, "Oh, I saw John Wick 2. It wasn't that good." I was like, "Wait, what?"
You were like, well, nice knowing you, buddy.
But I was like, "Nice knowing you."
Oh my
I-
god. Freeman, why would you
what is
share this
this?
during the podcast?
'Cause these are so spicy. I need to share these memes now. Listeners, go to r/freefolk and look for the top for this week because that should still be there by the time you hear this podcast.
Freeman, why don't you share with the class in case it's not though?
What? No,
Shit.
it will be. Just
Get
trust
out
me,
of
there's
here.
gonna be
Oh
other
my
memes.
god.
when you read a meme, it stops being funny. I refuse.
That is true. It is very true. I agree.
Anyway, Tyler, yes, it was very good.
Oh yeah,
you
it was
loved
good.
John Wick.
I love John Wick. If you like the first two, it's really good. The guys from the Raid are in that movie. A few of the guys from the Raid, and people who've listened to the podcast in the past have heard me rave about that movie. Because they go way beyond just the gunplay. They get into a lot of martial arts shit. So yeah, that's what I did. Yeah, man. It's just a good movie, all right. Shit.
Good.
Yeah, I don't know. Are we going into weeks though?
That's
is
what
that it?
closing. Yeah, weeks.
Yeah, this
That's
is
what
yours.
we're
Oh,
doing.
okay.
That was your
Oh,
week.
what am I? Oh shit. All right. So I got 5 people living at my house for the next like 5
Oh
days.
jeez.
I want to die. But outside that, I'm going to the shooting range. So there's that.
Woohoo.
And I'm not.
I gotta
oh, yeah,
save my money for our convention.
Yeah, I should save money.
Woohoo! Less
for
than
the
2 weeks.
convention. Yeah, you mean next?
My cosplay's still not here.
So they finally ship mine. It's gonna get here in 2 days.
Nice.
Ooh, there we go.
You just Luigi write like a super angrily worded message to them, just like I did, complaining how you already wrote one angrily worded message.
My
I wanna
family will
see your
disown me if
manager.
you don't do this. I want to see. Just send a picture of the Karen hair and say, I want to see.
Yeah,
my
I want to
God.
see your manager.
They'll get the meme and be like, oh shit, he's serious.
Oh shit, he's serious.
I gotta check my email.
All right,
Maybe.
but yeah, I'm done though. I don't.
Freeman, what are you doing?
I'm wrapping up some anime, so I'm gonna minor
boy.
weep shit here, just because I got Luigi here. Luigi, I finished watching Domestic Girlfriend last night.
Oh, how garbage!
It was
How
a-
much is it awful?
It was a dumpster fire. I hated it. It was
Oh,
actually
oh,
genuinely
gosh.
bad.
Who would have guessed?
Yeah, but that was trash. I finished watching something else that was really good. I'm trying what it was. It was like a 9 out of 10. I don't remember what show it was I was watching. Oh, it was Kakegurui season 1 that I finished last night.
Oh yeah, I meant to reply to that.
So that ending sequence where they're just gambling on the tarot cards
Yeah, dude.
was some hype shit. This felt like a Food Wars sequence in the making.
Kaguru is actually pretty good.
I love this show. Like I realize this is Elon Musk. This is what he does whenever he like bets all of his money on a risky startup. This is how he feels. He's deep down inside, he's this anime girl who's orgasming over gambling.
Yeah, get your gambling freak on with me.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
Do we want to hold off on Shield Hero next week so we can watch it together?
Oh.
I mean, I already haven't watched from last week still because I've been busy and running around.
Well, you better watch it because the new episode's tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah,
think we
we will.
should totally save it next week for when you guys come out because that'd be awesome to get to watch that together.
Oh shit!
All right, we'll do. But that's pretty much it. I'm about to finish Index Season 3. That show's actual garbage. Stay away from that entire series. It's not
What's
worth
it
it.
Can't wait
called?
to finish it. Luigi.
Tawaro Majutsu no Index. Just don't watch the anime. If you really, really care, for some reason, read the books, but don't watch this show.
Luigi's like, it's already on my Crunchyroll list.
Yep, already there. I'm looking it up.
Please don't.
Wait, if it's that bad, how did it get such a good rating? Oh, weebs are trash. I forgot.
Yeah,
Leaves are trash.
weebs are trash. But what am I actually doing? I'm wrapping up building that colorless commander deck just in time to play it in person.
Thank
at the
fucking God, you
convention
guys
we're
have a
going
week and a half to put
I-
these new commander decks together.
I am
to.
making.
I thought
yeah,
I
one
ordered
wonder
all of it, and I realized I'm missing like a Lightning Greaves and
Oh my
random
God.
should have been in there.
Wait, keep talking. I might have a Lightning Greaves literally on my desk.
That's fine. I'm putting in an order after this podcast. I need to get some stuff for the other decks.
Fuck.
I need to
But-
build one after the raid. My raid.
I was supposed to play Final Fantasy X this weekend, and I blew it off to do absolutely nothing. So I
What?
really desperately need to. What?
You didn't blow it up. Well, you okay?
I wasn't gonna wake up Saturday morning to play Final Fantasy X.
No. I mean, you didn't blow off to do nothing. You hung out with us for a few. You hung
no,
out
I
with me
was-
for a
This
few
is
hours.
true.
Just to re-clarify, Tim was in town, so we spent a Saturday morning playing Commander. But after that, I was like,
Yes.
all right, either Saturday or Sunday, I'm gonna play this game, and I proceeded to just not play this game at all.
Hell yeah, worth.
That's what I was trying to reiterate or illustrate there. Not that our time playing Commander is worthless.
I
Because,
didn't think you were saying that. I was
That's
like,
not
did
what
you
I was
already
implying.
forget that we played Commander?
well, honestly, I took a nap after the gym, and then I kind of forgot about what happened the rest of the
Holy
weekend.
fucking shit! I did have a Lightning Greaves on my desk. I remembered correctly. It's right in my hand.
Oh my god. Anyway, that's pretty much it for me. I don't think anything crazy is happening next week. Just kind of keeping up with the usual shows I've been talking about week over week.
The huge.
Yeah, that's about it.
Luigi, just in case you have to leave us for raid before I finish off too, what have you been up to in the past week or so?
Oh man, I've been cleaning up all the things. Been playing that Dead by Daylight. I actually streamed probably more this week than I ever have before.
Go
which
watch
is-
Luigi on. You say it. I don't want to say it wrong. I don't want to misspell.
Oh, twitch.tv/Lulu Smash LULUZ Smash.
Don't forget to clack that like button and all that fun jazz.
I play games where I murder people.
Mostly Dead by Daylight or WoW.
I can feel the
Where
smile
I
on Luigi's
murder
face as he
people.
says that.
Oh, I love playing the killer.
Speaking of murdering people, like I said, we should probably play video games tomorrow. But if we do that, for those at home,
I'm down.
I might just live stream it just for funsies. But we should probably figure out if we're playing. I mean, we'll probably play like Rainbow Six or Overdank. But
Oh, Overdank has the anniversary.
I was also
Yeah,
gonna
there's
say,
new loot to grind.
yep, there it is. Okay, I guess we know we're playing tomorrow.
Oh man, what a surprise!
But what else, Luigi? Anything else going on?
Nope, that's it. I'm far behind on all my weeb shit. I'm just trying to be an adult and get a better job.
Hey, same.
Why are you being responsible?
Oh god, I'll stop right now. Hold on. Let me open up Crunchyroll.
Luigi, instead of long-term fixes to your unsatisfaction with your job, why not just focus on short-term satisfaction of watching anime and getting sad?
Oh, that's an excellent idea.
I like these guys said, we went home again. We went home to New Jersey again this weekend, so it was a lot more driving, but it was very fun seeing Luigi and Friedman playing some Magic. We even brought our boy Ed in for a little while after his drinking the night before. That was hilarious. Got to mostly was just there to celebrate my Val's sister's graduation, so that was a busy weekend outside of playing some Magic. Really haven't gotten to do much else. Like I said, didn't even get to watch Shield Hero since last week. I am very behind the ball. Honestly, haven't even played games. I booted up Rome Total War for funsies for about an hour today just to kill some time and relax, because still recovering from driving yesterday. Yeah, honestly, not much coming up this week either. Maybe it'll finally be time to go see Avengers for the second time. But not this coming weekend, but the weekend after is when these three guys are coming out for Colossal Con in Ohio. So I just reminded
Yeah.
myself
Very
that we should buy tickets over the next few days because we can't pre-order them unless we do it by Friday. So just
There
to make
wasn't
it,
any kind of like
Colossal.
price
Wait,
benefit.
It's
was
not
there?
a-
tickets for Colossal Con.
yeah, it's not a
I
price.
thought we already ordered them.
No,
I
No,
did,
we
at least.
got a hotel room. That was
we
about
have
it.
we've had the hotel room. It's not going to save us money, but it's more just saving us hassle when we get there of just go pick up
I'm
tickets.
pretty sure I ordered mine.
Well, we should all use our collective chat about it because Val almost ordered tickets for everyone on her phone yesterday. It was like, no, I should wait till we're on a computer for this.
Maybe.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out after the podcast or tomorrow or something. But either way,
I got it. I got I already ordered mine. The 4-day admission.
okay, then we need to
So
do
I'm
that
good to go.
before. But yeah, other than that, just busy with work. Ooh, this is actually super cool news. I know it's unrelated, but I might actually be able to start doing slightly more videos again. I know I've been doing 0, but my work just announced that after next week, we're going back to 40-hour weeks for the first time.
Oh my
Oh
god.
man.
Yeah, finally going back. But, you know, that means I'll get off work at a normal time and be able to enjoy life. Oh, well, we're going to sign off now because Tyler can't sign off because people are occupying his bedroom. Unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. But yeah, so we're gonna head out. We've done a lot of Game of Thrones talking. Next week it should be back to normal. We'll have a bunch of news and such, and sadly no Luigi probably.
Sadness.
But yeah, look out for us possibly live streaming us playing Overdank tomorrow. I don't know if we'll see if I feel up to live stream if we just play for fun. Because now that I'm thinking about it, it might just end up being just for funsies and not worrying about live streaming. But either way, thank you all so much for listening about our ramblings about Game of Thrones. My name's Timpedia.
I'm Friedman.
I'm Luigi.
And I'm just Tyler. Don't worry, everybody. Tyler's here in spirit. But thank you all so much for listening. This has been the TNT podcast, and we will catch you guys next week.